fitness to practice. I want to quickly touch on this because fitness to practice is submitted in the portal, but we actually do work them completely offline. I think Joe said about this yesterday, maybe in the chat. We do work them completely offline as by email, exactly like a BAU team do. The only thing this is a method of submission for that information. So the applicant will fill in all of the details on here. They will generate a PDF, and then we send you that PDF directly. So please don't think that we can send this the fitness stuff back to be changed by the applicant. We unfortunately we can't. The system will only allow us to work the actual market entry side of it online. Again, this is why we do ultimately rely on the applicant themselves submitting the correct information in the first instance. But it's just to show you that yes, the fitness stuff does come online, but all we do is we would generate get the PDF that has been generated by the applicant, and then we would work that completely offline as we would for a paper submitted application. And all of the information that is contained inside the PDF for the fitness to practice is captured directly on here. So we have exactly the same as the market entry one. We've got the organisation details, and the organisation details, it's the exact same stuff. It's just a way that the applicant can put all of that information in one screen, and then it will submit. They'll submit, and we've generated 2 PDFs. So all of this is exactly the same as what you'd expect from a paper application. The same questions, the same things. There is one thing though that does happen with the fitness to practice side for online, and this has been queried by a few regional teams, and I just want to clarify this right now, please. For employment history, we've had quite a few teams coming back and saying that there's no date here, but inside the actual application itself, it does tell the applicant to leave it blank if it's a current position. So again, we are relying on the actual applicant to give us the correct information. So if you do find that there is any employment dates that are blank, it is a good chance that it is intentional. I mean, we're more than happy to go and confirm it, but if we've gone back and forth a couple of times with the applicants, please don't keep asking us to get it filled in, because I'm sure we've actually had this confirmed by PCSE back when we first went online, that's intentional. That is blank there, so the applicant does not have to fill it in. So I'm just going to go out of this now, because this is just a test application that I was bringing up yesterday, but this is a full fitness to practice that is again generated and worked offline. But all of the information is exactly as you would expect for a paper application. So we've got the references, we've got all the have you been a bad boy or not. Okay, so I'm just going to go back and I'll just quickly change my organisations on here, and then I'll load up the NHS England screen, which is what yourselves would have. So first thing I want to show you is an actual application, a change of director and or superintendent. So this application is just one of my test ones that we've got, and this is currently first referral pending. Now, when we were saying yesterday, if you were there, as soon as you've opened it up, it will take you straight to the review application page, because this is the screen that we and yourselves use more than anything. But we'll go through a full application so we can see how it is laid out. So again, just like on a market entry, this is the first screen, and this is locked. This cannot be changed by the applicant once they have submitted this page. It's the exact same questions as what you might have seen yesterday. They have to select the legal entity, is it under an LPS, and then the type of application it is. Now for this one, for change of director and superintendent, they can select both. So they will have a director and a superintendent on the same application. We do get some people who select one and then manually write in the details for another one. Again, that's up to yourselves whether you will accept that. We can't dictate on that, but obviously we are relying on the applicant to actually do it correctly in the first place. And then, is this relating to pharmacy or a DAC? So once the applicant has selected create on here, it will unlock the options for them to select. Now, the first one is the same as market entry. It's the organisation details. So on this, we've got the name of the legal entity. For this one, the company's house registration number, the registered company's name, the trading as name, a telephone number, and a reason if there is no telephone number. Now, underneath this, we have got the person who's actually submitting this application. So this is me, and for this one, I'm living at Testington Road in London, lovely area. So this is just for us to contact who that person is, and this is the same details that we would expect to receive via email if it was an email submitted form. Now, next one is where we're going to find any details of nominated directors, so people who have been submitted onto this actual application form, so this nomination form. So just to click view here, and it will populate all the details of that person who's actually been submitted. So it's self-explanatory: title, name, an email address, agenda, date of birth, what their role is it a proposed director pharmacist or non-pharmacist, the start of the director, a telephone number, an alternative, and then if they are a registered pharmacist. If they are, it will obviously ask for GPHC registration number, and then there's one if they're a healthcare professional. And then next we have the contact address. Now, you might find that there is one person, you might find that there's 10. If there's 10, there's going to be 10 separate section Cs which are generated for this individual. And going on next, we've got a superintendent, and it's my mate Lewis. So it's the exact same thing. We've got a title, name, email address, agenda, date of birth, and their role. The role is going to be the proposed superintendent pharmacist. It can't be anything else because this is for a superintendent. And the start date, GPHC number, telephone number, alternative, and again, a contact address. Now, the system is quite clever in actually stopping applicants from submitting more than one superintendent. I have genuinely seen, and I'm sure you all have, where people have actually submitted a paper form and there's about 4 superintendents in there. Right, next thing we've got is the qualifications and employment history. Now, all it's going to ask for the applicant to do is to list all of their qualifications in here and the date of qualification, and this is just going to generate that onto the notification form. So into this one for the section B. So yeah, section B for Lewis and section C for myself. So all they've got to do is just go through and just add everything themselves. We're not going to speed food it to them. We're just going to tell them qualification, institution, and the date. If there's any further information needed than that, then please let us know. Obviously, some of them will miss out dates. The dates won't tally up. We're quite happy to go back and ask them to add that. There's no dramas in that at all. Now, next thing we've got is the employment history. So we obviously might be getting the pre-reg in here. A lot of people will forget to put that in, but it's the same with paper applications. Again, we'll go back and request it for them. And now on this one, you can see that we've been a pharmacist at Boots. There's the start date. And again, the end date is blank because it is current employment. There's no end date. We have got a few in live where there's about 5 or 6 employment histories, and I think there's 2 or 3 that are blank because they're still working at those positions. And again, if it is blank, there's a good chance that they would have written current on the paper form. And again, we are more than happy to go back and check with them. But we're just safe to assume that it is blank. We will not be asking them to write current in there because, again, we've been told they do not have to. Have they been dismissed from any of the above? These are all the questions that they get asked on the paper form. And now we've got the referees. Now, references on the portal are not a mandatory field. This is obviously due to non-pharmaceutical directors. If a non-pharmaceutical director is added, then if this was mandatory, it would ask for references and then it would prevent them from applying. If there are any that have got these blank and they are missing, we will go back and request it as missing information. There's no dramas at all with that. So again, it gives them the declaration. So we will not accept references from any of the below. And then all they got to do is fill in the details. So we've got Miss Hermione Granger, who's given the references. She lives at Kentucky Fried Chicken, and she was the boss for 1 year and 1 month. Consent has been given to contact them by email. If any of additional information, if you wish to check when and where they've been given, they know the applicant, please just let us know in the first referral. And again, we'll go back and we'll get that information for yourselves. And it's the exact same thing for referee 2. So we've got Miss Moneypenny here, who's given a reference, and she lives in a bar. Lucky person. So again, 1 year, 2 months, and again, consent has been given. So this is going to be the same for both. You might get some applicants where they are a director and a superintendent, and they will obviously have to give 2 references, a reference for each position. And it's the same again for any other directors that are on here. Every pharmaceutical director will have to give references. So going on next, we've got the individual declarations. Now, this is just a simple yes, no, but again, this is mandatory for every person who has been nominated on here. So every person whose details are either in director or superintendent, they have to answer these questions. They cannot get past it. So you're never going to have anyone who's not actually completed this. So it is quite good in that. And it's the exact same questions that are asked in the individual sections. Basically, have they been convicted of anything? Again, both people will have to answer that. So on this one now, we've got the PDF itself. So this is where the applicant will generate a PDF, and they download their blank copy to sign, and then they will upload it into here. So if we are sending the first referral to yourselves and you're downloading this one, it's never going to be signed. Any signed forms will be uploaded by the applicant here. And just want to bring this up again, because this is exactly, like I said, the same as a paper form. So we've got all this, it's laid out exactly the same. All the right things are in here. We've got when people were nominated. We've got the superintendent details, the director's details, and then any signature boxes. Same with the section B. And the referee details again. So we've got reference 1 and reference 2 in here. All of the declarations, the fitness information, yes, no questions, all been answered, and then signature boxes. And then once again for the section C's. So it is laid out exactly the same as a paper form. So when we log on for yourselves, you're going to go straight again to application review. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we should be checking what it is. So this is the first referral pending. Once we send this, we will send out, let me just find it. We will send out these emails to you. So you will get this to your generic inbox. It will not go to your individual ones unless you normally receive emails from market entry to your named email address. There's no reason why we should start adding specific people. We will send it as we do for BAU. We don't change that at all for being online. So first referral, we will tell you if it's the superintendent and or director, what the contractor name is and what STP this falls under. Now, again, these STPs, this is our way of breaking up the local office selection, which we have to choose, because the local office selection which we select is out of date, I'm afraid. It's the pre-April 2020 legacy codes, which we have to split these applications under geographically. So first referral, we'll send this email to you. You can log on, and then you can go straight into here, and you can then scroll down to the bottom where it says application details. and you can see what our first referral is. Now, again, like Ryan said, this is just test. So I have literally just put in test when I sent this last November. But I'll just quickly go through this entire thing just before we go through the processes. So we've got the CAS number at the top, the ME number, I've got the A number again here, and then the application status. If you do hear screaming, I really apologise. My son's autistic and he's having a little bit of a meltdown, I'm afraid, at the minute. We've got the correspondence details. So this is the person who has actually submitted that application. Again, this could be anyone. This could be Joe Seven from Boots. It could be a user representative, Connor Daly, Tariq Iqbal, Kevin Harrell, etc. It could be anybody. So this is just the person who submitted the application form. They will not necessarily be the person who's signed and named on the form. Payment is obviously not required. And then we've now got the local office selection. So again, this is where the how we dictate which regional team inbox this will get sent to when we're sending forth backwards and forwards. And again, these are based on the pre-2020 April legacy code. So I know some of these are out of date. Again, North Midlands it doesn't exist as far as I'm aware. It's now broken between West Mids and possibly East Mids. So just you will have to bear with us for this. We have tried to break it down as best as we can, and again, we do send them to individual email addresses rather than individual generic email addresses rather than just blanket emails to everybody. So next we've got the text box, and this is how us and yourselves will communicate with each other in sending things like first referrals, any subsequent referrals, any first referral responses by yourselves. So when it comes to a first referral in here for a change of director, change of superintendent, we would literally paste our first referral questions into here, and then we would press the first referral button. With yourselves, you would then have to scroll down to the bottom, like I say. You can highlight, you can either double click or just click and drag, Control and C to copy the stuff, and then you can go onto a new Word document and just paste it directly across. And then you've got a copy for your file, depending on how your individual teams work. This is a full audit trail set. Every time something is sent in here backwards and forwards, it is copied into here with who has done it, at what time and at what date. It's just a handy way for both sides to look through and see if something has been requested previously or if anything has been missed whatsoever. So down from here, we've got the box to return to applicant and withdrawals. This is just for PCSE. This is for when we send missing information letters and any withdrawals. Obviously, we don't withdraw change of director superintendents, but missing information will go in here. And once again, anything that is pasted into there, when it gets sent back, it gets copied down to here. So you can look at a glance and see what missing information has been requested. So if we miss anything, you can go, well, you sent it there, but I said in the first referral, there was also a referee needed requesting. We weren't accepting that referee, so we've asked for another one. You've missed it. Can you please request it? It just saves a lot of hassle going through emails. If it's just directly there. So next thing is a box for us. This is just a checkbox that we will complete as we're going through. This is something that you won't have seen on if you're on yesterday. All it is literally just a little tick box for us. We have to complete this before we can actually send a committee report. The system won't allow us to do it until that's actually happened. So there's nothing really you need to do on this. It's just, like I say, a tick box. We need to go through everything and then tick yes onto there. Now, next thing is going to be other supporting documents. This is where we're going to upload things like committee reports or anything that has been submitted additionally by the applicant. Now, previously, before yesterday, we were leaving an audit trail in here, and this is where a lot of the emails were coming across. We have now stopped that unless a committee report has been sent. So any of these emails that you get saying a comment has been submitted, you should not be receiving them unless, again, the commit report has been sent and you specifically are telling us that something needs sending. The panel have rejected referee 1, can you request a new referee? All you would need to do is just type it into here. Type new ref 1 rejected. You can put it into there, submit comments, and then it will leave the little audit trail for yourselves, and we will get notified that a comment has been left there. Yeah. Next thing down from here is where you make your decisions. I'll show this on the other applications. I've got one where the commit report has been sent and it's awaiting a decision, but it's just a tick box. You can put any comments in there and then you can press submit. Now, next down, we've got the application details. And again, this is the full audit trail. So we've got any text that has been sent back and forth in these boxes. So again, if I press first referral complete into there, it will save all of this down to here. And then under this, we've got application history. This shows every time that this application has changed hands from the moment it was drafted back in 2020, a year ago nearly, when it was submitted, and then everything since then when it was undergoing detailed checks. That means that we've picked it up, the first referral pending, and it's, again, you can just see if something has been missed by either yourselves or us. If something hasn't happened, if the application is still with an applicant, you will be able to see that because it will say returned. So this generate PDF, please just leave this one alone. You don't need to do this. All it does is downloads a blank unsigned PDF, the same as you would find in fund declaration. It's the same one that the applicant would download to sign. So just going to go through on this again. So if I'm doing my first referral, I've answered all my questions offline. I have got a copy saved to Word with any information that you yourselves have picked up, or if you agree with any information that we've picked up in our first referral checks. Then again, all you're going to do is paste this into here, and then once you've uploaded anything that you need to, press first referral complete. And again, you must have text in this box. If you just press first referral complete, it will not send. It will stay with yourselves. And then a week later, you'll get an email from us going, can you please return it? And that's when things break down. Now that's grayed out, and I can see that that's now changed back to undergoing detailed checks. So that does mean that this is now under PCSE's control. And if I go down here, I can see first referral complete, a date and the time, and I can see the text, what was entered into that text box. So again, there is that full audit trail of what has been sent back and forth. Okay, so next I'm going to quickly go on to market entry, and I will do one that has had the committee report sent, just so we can quickly go through the decision. So again, type it on here, press search. I can see what it is, what name, and it's under consideration. And again, it's under consideration there, and this was submitted by me as a test. So everything is grayed out. There's no way that I can accidentally return this as NHS England. It's all grayed out. There is, again, a brief audit history. So we can see this, that it will obviously be a lot more completed. And if I go into other supporting documents, there is a committee report that has been uploaded. So again, you can just download it, click that, and it'll open up exactly as it would from an email submitted committee report. Now, when a decision has been made, do the usual that you would normally, just attach your decision minutes onto here. So quickly upload that. And then choose whichever is the suitable answer, the suitable decision. And if you need to leave any additional notes on there, please do so. So that's uploaded and this was approved. So I can now press save decision. If I press save decision, though, that will return this application back to us at PCSE. And if I go down here to the audit trail, we can now see that the application history has updated as well. So we can see that everything from it being drafted, being submitted, undergoing detailed checks, a first referral pending, undergoing detailed checks. Obviously, we would then be carrying out our reference checks, our regulatory checks and everything. It's under consideration and the decision has now been made. That is it for yourselves as far as you're concerned on this. If you have refusals and that, obviously, just choose whatever it is, upload your minutes, click refusal and save decision. Again, you can upload this if it's been updated after appeal. For example, you can again go back and press suitable and upload a new decision report and then save. Okay, I think I'm done on this one so far now, Ryan.
Thanks for going through all that, Chris. So I'd just like to throw this over to you guys then now. Just with everything Chris has demonstrated here in these screens, do we have any questions? And feel free to take yourself off mute if you'd like to ask it verbally. Okay, so I've got no questions at all then, just around this. Tracy?
Yeah, sorry, I'm a little bit confused. So we were told originally, because I've got 5 of these to do at the moment, when you, in the box where it says use the following text to provide information, that's where I would put, so I'd copy and paste your bit, and then I would put underneath in capitals what I wanted. But from what I understood, I'd need to be putting that somewhere else.
What?
Am I getting that
Again,
wrong?
That's totally up to yourselves.
All right, okay.
This text here, if I go down here to application details, whatever I've typed in here as a first referral, just pretend that this is just my normal first referral.
Yeah.
Just for ease on yourself, just highlight it, press Control at it, and then you can paste it externally.
Okay, but do I
answer it? And then after that, you can just copy whatever your first referral response is,
yeah,
and then paste it directly into here.
All right, okay, yeah, that's what I was getting at. Yeah, brilliant, lovely, thank you.
No trouble.